Welcome back to Neighborhood Politics. I am Mrs. Neighborhood Politics.
And I'm Mr. Neighborhood Politics.
And we have two special guests family on today's episode. So would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Devon Scott.
And I'm Kiana Scott.
We know Mr. and Mrs. Politics from a while ago. You know what I mean? A long time ago.
Very long time ago.
We didn't know each other for some while, man. We what you say about 10 plus for sure.
More than that, because 10 years ago was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So I met you my freshman year of high school. That's 2008, 2009.
Yo, freshman year, my college year. So let's start there then, man. What was that like transitioning? Because where'd you come from middle school?
So before I moved to Northland, I lived with my mom. I went to Groveport Middle. So I was on the complete other side of the city. I didn't even know nothing about the north side like that. Like when I was growing up, I was really a south side child. My mom from Southfield. I grew up, learned how to swim at the Marion Franklin pool, all that. So when I made that transit to the north, I literally didn't know anybody. My first day of school, or actually it was orientation, I knew two people. I knew Potts because he went to my uncle's church. His dad and family went to my uncle's church, and the other dude I knew, he went to my middle school. I'm like, what are you doing here, bro?
Right.
He was like, I'm about to ask you the same thing. You know what I mean? But that was it. So first day of school, because that summer I didn't do any basketball stuff because I didn't know I was gonna be with y'all.
Right.
So it wasn't as bad as I thought because of basketball. Open gym started not too long later after school year started, so it wasn't too bad. But the first couple of days was kind of like, man, I gotta meet somebody, bro. I gotta make something happen because it's slow.
Because you came into an environment that when we were so tight knitted, and you came as a hooper, and the hoop team was already established. Yeah. So it's not like you came in my height.
Right.
Joke on me 5'7". You came in 6'8". You know what I'm saying? 6'9" with expectations to make an impact on a basketball team.
Right.
So you said you didn't know if you was going to play.
Well, I mean, I knew I was going to play, but I didn't know exactly the route I was going to end up taking because I didn't know the team. I knew Coach Vic. That's who mentioned Northland in the first place. Like originally, my dad actually had me going to Mifflin because that's his alma mater. He did the little lottery when you transfer in schools, and it was like number 1 was Mifflin, 2 was Northland, and I was actually in Whetstone's district. So when I ended up moving from there or whatever, I got chose for Northland first, and that's just where I went. Happened to be Coach Vic put it in the air, and we kind of just fell in place from there.
That's dope. I know for me, that was, like you said, that was my sophomore year. So freshman year, we had a good year, of course. We was solid, super stacked. JV year, sophomore year, we played JV, and we played on the same. We played JV together. Yep. And I know you came in and made an immediate impact. But we got so many funny stories because although you was like 6'8", 6'9", we still treated you like the new guy. So,
sure.
What was it like being in them locker rooms? Because we still treated you like the new guy. Yeah. We had already established ourselves as a team. We had a bond, and it was like kind of unbreakable already at that point.
Y'all was brothers.
Yeah. So, how do you feel like you established yourself?
I think in my case, man, it was tough because even though I was a new guy, I did come in with Potts. I came in with Keyshawn, all those other freshmen at the same time. But for some reason, they just gelled with y'all a lot faster. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was because Potts, it's not like he went to middle school with y'all or anything like that. But all of y'all gelled and made it work so soon. So for me, it was unknowingly tough. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't really tell why I couldn't get on the same frequency with everybody. I don't know if that was basically me being a kid or just being oblivious or what, but I was just like, man, I feel like it never felt like beef, but it never felt like we was all on the same page at the same time. So it was a little tough some days where I wanted to kind of be cool with y'all at lunchtime or something, but it made me be a different type of person because I could interact with so many different type of people because I'm like, okay, these clowns acting like they the mean girls.
Acting like they the mean girls.
Yeah, like, I swear, I promise you, in the lunchroom, there was a table because the basketball team was like, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was the biggest thing in the Midwest. So it's a table where they sit, okay, the basketball team. Then the cheerleaders come sit over there, you know what I'm saying? Because they the hottest little girls in the school. Then I'm new walking into the lunchroom. They like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can figure it out. Put a chair up. I'm like, we got practice later. Yeah, not today, brother. You know
were y'all intentionally being like that to him?
I don't think so. I can't say we was.
I'll tell you what it is. We really had a culture of through the fire. Whatever it was, you have to go through the fire. You got to prove yourself.
Prove yourself before.
You have to prove that you're not going to be broken by this, because it did come with a lot. Like, we playing on ESPN. We seeing the biggest. Jared was doing Slam magazine shoots in our locker room during school.
Yeah.
So it's not like you walking into a culture of a normal high school. This is a high level program that's producing literally NBA players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
they put me in a situation where they're like, all right, prove to us that you're willing to be one of us.
Yeah.
Locker room, you know what I'm saying? We fight, not literally fighting as in I'm trying to hurt you for real, but we going to the body. We as a team, like slap boxing, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the way that you prove yourself. And after I broke through that wall, it was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? I gravitated towards people. And I always told Q, he was one of the first ones that was the first to let that wall down with me and talk to me and be cool and all that. So it was just, trial by fire type situation.
That's what's up, but like you said, that's the type of culture that y'all have, because today is different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's kind of like they don't have to work for nothing.
Nah, that's just entitlement.
They don't understand the importance of teamwork, the rapport, building that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of just relationship with your person in order for y'all to go to the next level, in order for one win, we all win. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that now.
Where did you go to high school?
Cincinnati, Ohio. So I went to Woodward.
I know about that. We played a lot of people. She went to Westerville, so her whole vibe is completely different. But we used to beef a lot with Taft.
Yeah.
We played against Woodrow in the state championship. My junior year, we played against.
I was going to say our top schools was
Princeton in the state.
Who do we play against? What team was that we lost to?
Don't try to say y'all beat Princeton. You see how you try to say that like, shoot, we beat Princeton.
We did beat Princeton.
Okay.
That count.
The red and white.
Y'all did, but they was more the suburban schools. Taft and like Withrow was the more public schools. But for sure, y'all was definitely seeing those schools like Taft, Withrow, Princeton, like those, because they really had a good program as well.
There was a few of them. There was a few schools in Dayton that was the same also. Yeah. We used to bump heads with them, Ralph Hill and all them at Westerville North.
For sure, absolutely. I say it was dope though to piggyback off what both of y'all said as far as building that bond, because he kind of touched on it, but the work sessions used to really be real.
It was a thing, bro. It was a thing.
Really?
You
used to come into the locker room and you might not even know, but it's already a circle of cats just waiting for you.
Like that.
So
like, it's crazy. When you think about it now, in 2023, it's literally crazy. It's tribal activity.
It's like low-key gang activity in there going on.
It's
That's
crazy.
what it sounds like when you get not jumped in, but like when you go pledge.
Right. Yeah.
It was like that.
It's literally that. It's a
Pretty
brotherhood.
much.
For real. Like,
but it made us, it built a bond to where, shoot, it's like to what you said, a lot of kids don't know what it's like to really fight for your teammate. So we fought each other every single day, not only in our locker room, but then when we got onto the court, we competed
practice
to a maximum level. And then so it came to the point to where when we get on this court, it's over with.
And then we were able to hold each other accountable, because I got stake in your life now. Like I have a brotherhood with you. So when you lacking or I'm lacking, you approach me on some, bro, what are you doing? Rebound, Dev. Play defense, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking it personal. I'm taking it like, okay, it's my brother talking to me.
Man, I really, really wish that, like, and this is a question for both of y'all, because you still play basketball, right? And then you a basketball coach for middle school and stuff like that. How can we literally get that back going, or even just like as you being a coach, being like, how can you establish that back on one of your teams? Because I feel like that's such a beautiful thing to have, like just the rapport, the team, like I was just saying, all of that, even though it was valuable lessons in that, because you just said like 100%. You coming in having to do that, it taught you a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then you being a coach, like you know how I used to be, like you said, going out on the court and have to compete for your spot. Because I know one of his issues with him coaching was like, y'all coming out here and y'all letting somebody out sprint you. Somebody just did a full blown layup, or just stole the ball from you, and you ain't rushing back to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? And it be their own teammates. So it's kind of like, what do y'all think? Like, how do y'all think we can get that established in our young generation?
I honestly think it's harder now because kids are a lot softer. So that's what they are. Mentally. Everything is social media is real.
Right now,
in this
it's like
generation.
gratification. We need it now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot harder to get that, because as soon as they fight, they're going to tell. It's just like that. It's different from how we grew up. Like we said, we played outside, they in the house on stuff. So that, for me, I feel like it's going to be harder to get that back because of kids being softer. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I think that like a lot of what I think the Like, if you pay attention to the era we're in general, like, if you look at Dame Lillard in the league, he just said he don't like the way the league look. You know, he been in the league since 2013, 14, which is about that same era. He was in college around that time. Generally, he's just like the young vibe of the league is it's a lot different.
It's different.
The morals is different. The values are different. What you value in the game is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids don't necessarily want to be the best no more. They want to be the most followed.
Yeah.
They want to have the clips. They want to get the highlights. You know what I'm saying? You got a wide open layup instead of just laying the ball up.
Right.
You trying to go. There was a kid, this is the truth. I coached an AAU team in Atlanta. And this is last summer, man. This kid, I've never seen him windmill the basketball, ever. We're beating the brakes out this one team by like 20 points, something like that, with like 8 minutes to go in the second half. Plenty of time to come back, but I'm just like, this kid comes down, tries the windmill, completely misses, not even close. We burn a timeout and yank him out the game. And I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, you're right now windmilling the basketball. You've never done this before. And don't get me wrong. Like, I'm cool with kids experimenting. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to dunk on him. Okay, you being aggressive. You going to the layup or something like that. Like, you want to dunk something or like you want to take off. Cool. You on a break doing something you ain't never did before in your life. That's embarrassing to our program because you missed. It's embarrassing to our program. It's embarrassing to you, your mom over there in the stand, and it's disrespectful to your opponent.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I'm
your
saying?
opponent, yeah.
And your
Teammates,
team.
I mean, just in general, it's just not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Because you wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even
Far off.
It was literally, I just want to highlight right now.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think with that element of social media and, you know, instant gratification, I think that you have to build that culture. That has to be something that they know. Like, when you go to play for Coach Q, you going to work hard. It's the same way it is in Miami with Pat Riley. The Miami Heat have a standard. That's why Udonis Haslem has been there so long and all that. Like, they set the tone, they build the culture, and they put it to a point where it's like, if you go into this place, my fault. If you go into this place, you will have to be this way. It's that simple. So.
Yeah.
Right. No, I completely agree. And as far as the culture thing, with me now just getting to coaching, it's funny because I talked to Rube about that. You know, we had a conversation after the season. And we have had multiple conversations, but it was just about how we fell short. Yeah. But the culture the foundation that I tried to set this year, I told him, man, that's the foundation that, you know, because Ruben was a workaholic. You know, I told him, man, we fell short, but you set a standard to where we fell short and still lost. Right. So the next group that come in, if they not doing what you was doing times 10, they not gonna even meet the standard of even being on my floor. You know what I'm saying? Because we fell short last year, and I had a guy that was, you know, he ran every single sprint hard along with the whole team. You know, but to what you're saying, as far as I think, and I mean, I know it's hard, but coaching is imperative. And I think getting back coaches that really genuinely wholeheartedly got love for the game and us
our generation.
It's important, you know. So and I don't really, I mean, I'm coaching, but to be honest, I don't really see that. You know, I don't really see many coaches that's really out there really trying to dig and give they all, not only teach the game, but teach morals, like you said, and other responsibilities along with it. Nowadays, like you said, it's just more so come out here, play, let's get some highlights. That you look good, I'll probably look good, come to the game, you know, look crazy, be fresh, whatever it is, and that's it. So I think, you know, a mixture of social media, the lack of coaching, the mixture of the kids just feeling so entitled has gotten so far gone to where it's like, you need to do some self-evaluation for sure.
I think that in my case specifically, like with the team that I put together with my guy Skin, shout out Skin, we've been running that team for about 5-6 years now. And our literal foundation, the team is called Drill Academy. It's an acronym: dedication, responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and love. Those are the key components to building these young men into being fine men. That's our goal. You know what I'm saying? We have the kids that these big shoe Nike teams don't take because they don't have the big enough name. And we give them an opportunity through connections and giving them an opportunity to be seen. But behind closed doors, you know, we're really trying to help these young men become men, bro, because they don't have a dad. They do have a dad, but he's working or whatever. They're missing something. Or they just need another positive guidance. They just need someone else in another capacity, because you can hear something from your pops. Like, hey, bro, don't go outside. It's raining today. I'm about to see what's talking about. But if Q walked past, like the little student we was talking about earlier, you know, if Q walked past and said, hey, bro, don't go outside, bro. It's raining out there, boy. You know, same sentence said differently. Man, it might be raining for real. Q said it. You know what I'm saying? So at times, you know, that's what we want to provide. You know, that dedication. Dedicate yourself to whatever craft you got going on, whether it be school. Because there's kids that we have that just love basketball, but they know they're not about to play for real.
Yeah.
So dedicate yourself to yourself first, improving yourself, becoming a better young man, then your craft, whatever it may be. If you do want to play basketball and you may not be there, catch up. Because I tell them all the time, like, I wasn't no super high recruit, none of that until the end. You know, I built through them 4 years. Responsibility, be a responsible young man. We have young men in our program, like I said, who don't have a father, who are the man in their house with sisters and this and that. Be responsible. Be responsible for yourself, for your teammates, for your household, for your name, your last name. Be responsible.
Right.
Have integrity when we're not watching you. You know what I'm saying? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? That's when your real character shows.
I
Loyalty.
talk to my boys about that all the time, man. How many push-ups are you doing at home when this basketball is not in your hand?
She hear me press down on little Devon about that.
How many push-ups are you doing? How many sit-ups are you doing? It's warm outside now. Did you run a mile today? Because somebody is. But you said something that's kind of that was going to lead me into my next question anyway. As far as your 4 years, you didn't have the biggest name, you know, when you first came into Northland. How did you work through that? And what year was your biggest year to where it was like, okay, I can really see a future in this basketball?
I would say my biggest year, the biggest jump I made as a basketball player, and this is actually the time that me and her met, was probably my sophomore summer going into my junior year. And that's because
she added balance to your life.
No, she wasn't my girl at that point. Me and her were friends first. And I think that's one of the biggest things where our relationship, while we work, like, we're a married couple. We have situations where we're arguing, where we're beefing. Y'all been together, you know what I'm saying? You know how it goes. But at the end of the day, we were friends first. We built that foundation first. You know what I'm saying? She was cool with an ex-girlfriend of mine. You know, that's how we actually first really started being around each other. Yeah, that's how we met in general. But it turned out she was cheerleading for Westfield North, so we had a lot of mutual friends anyway.
Okay.
But that summer in general, I took a major jump basketball-wise. So I really, really locked in like on some, okay, I think I got my first letter. It was like Defiance. It's a D3 school. I got my first letter saying I would be able to play basketball collegiately. I'm like, bro, hold on, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Like, previously, before high school, I didn't know the difference between JV and varsity. I didn't care about it. I love the game, but I didn't care about where it could take me. Then I seen the real potential, and I'm like, hold on, let me put in some real work and see where I can go. So that summer, I took a major leap, and then I would say probably my junior years, the last summer I was playing AAU basketball, I think is the biggest my name was when it comes to offers and just being known. Like, I was just, because Jared had left. It was me and Jalen. Trey was like the big three names. We still had Potts, Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was rocking. But at that time, I ended up going to Cincinnati or committing to Cincinnati. You know what I mean?
I know that. I know you committed to UC.
Yeah,
first.
I was going to UC first, but I ended up decommitting because they wanted me to redshirt, and I didn't want to redshirt my freshman year. They wanted to get a 7-footer and a 6'8" wing, and I'm neither at that period.
Right.
You know, I wasn't a wing. I'm not 7 foot, so. They were like, we still want you. We just want your red shirt. And then academically, they were like, we don't know if you're going to graduate with everything you need, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is like September. I'm like, the school year not even over. What are you talking about?
No.
So I ended up just decommitting and ended up opening my recruitment back up to everyone. And it was booming. You know what I mean? So I think that summer was probably the biggest physically, but like having offers and name and all that. But as far as like actually development-wise, I think my sophomore summer was the biggest.
I would say, too, because he was in the shadow of Jared, he didn't need to do much, you know? Because you're behind someone, so you just go when you're needed. But then when they leave, you have to do more. Right. So you have to put in more work because you're needed.
Them You Not Jared chants was real.
They were saying that.
Jared. Jalen would get the You're Not JD. They would just, that's all we was hearing the whole time.
So when you have to step out of someone's shadow, basically, to say, then you have to do more. Right. So I feel like that was a part of your change too.
My motivation too at that period was just to be known as myself. Like, I did a news interview where they asked me like, how are you gonna fill in the shoes? I'm like, I'm gonna play the best basketball I can and be me. I can't be Jared. Jared,
he's a whole different person.
He's built different. His mind is different. Everything about him is different than me. I'm not him. So I'm not trying to be him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they wanted. They wanted someone to say like, yeah, I'm going to try to be the next him. That's not my vibe at all. You know, I don't really care about being nobody but me.
And I think that's real honorable about you, bruh, and what made me really respect you so early, because we talked about how we were so much of a tight-knit family, but you never still tried to be that guy to where it was like, I'm going to force myself on y'all. Right. You was cool with, all right, y'all ain't letting me sit at the table with y'all. Bet I'm about to go grab my lunch and go sit at this table over here and have fun with this group of friends.
Right.
And that's honorable because, you know, you got some people that be like, man, I'm going to force myself in there. You was just like, man, listen, I'm going to be me. I'm going to walk in here. I'm going to earn my respect however I earn it. Yeah. If y'all don't respect it, it is what it is, but I ain't about to kiss up to nobody. Yeah. And I think that's super honorable for you as a person.
I appreciate it.
Especially as a man.
I think that too, like, and it wasn't like everybody was all of a sudden like, okay, you earn our respect, we good. Like, it was still some people that was a little standoffish or I wasn't so close with, which was cool. It was a part of the game. Like, I'm not a person I need you to like me to be cool. We playing basketball at the end of the day, so as long as we straight on that side, I'm good money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and not to disrespect anyone or anything like that, but like people like Trey, you know, Trey's mind was somewhere else. He's thinking league in 10th, 11th grade. You know, he's trying to get his stuff together. I was never the closest with Trey. Me and Trey were cool, don't get me wrong, but it stopped at basketball. I wasn't like, y'all hold the Fly Boys clique, and if y'all don't know about the Fly Boys, please comment and have him break down the Fly Boy era in cliques.
Trust me, I'm not even from here, and I be hearing every time they be like, you don't know like the Fly Boys. I'm like,
please get in the
this
comments.
was a real thing.
Get in the comments and have him break down the Fly Boys era of his life, because that period of time was legendary. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. It was a different
space. It would be like
Fly
Boy Q, Fly Boy D. They all had a
IG was a thing, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah. They'd be the Fly Boy Q.
Oh my gosh. They had jackets. The girls, the cheerleaders, they had shirts. They was a clique for real.
Y'all was really on some real stuff. Like every time I meet somebody that like, you know, with Q, they be like, man, Q was a Fly Boy. I'm like, that's all you hear. I'm like, bro, this was really a thing for real.
It was like the Hoopers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said, that's why it's so honorable, because you never tried to be something you wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
You got a picture, Mike. My pops is a pastor.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So you like...
No, but he's not that type of pastor where he's like on some suit and tie. Like, he'll come shoot it with Q and everybody. Like, he's super cool. They all know my dad. Like, he's cool. But he also he doesn't hide from nobody. He pulling up, dropping me off for practice with
the pickup truck, right?
A pickup truck, like a nice pickup truck, but it has a Jesus rap on it, like about everything. You know, got the ministry, got, you know, imagery, all that. And to him, that's who he is. That's his passion. But seeing my father be that person made me realize, like, I don't need approval of these other people, because I got those looks getting dropped off in high school. Yeah. You feel me? You're still trying to figure out who you are as a person in high school. I'm getting dropped off in a Jesus truck with a 6'6" bald dude talking about, all right, I'll be back to get you. I'm like, man, killing me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But you had to embrace that, though.
Had to.
You know what I'm saying? You really had
today.
to.
You know what I'm saying? Like, him standing on his faith makes it easy for me to stand on my faith today.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So Pops was a pastor. So and we're gonna definitely dig into this as far as, you know, your spiritual walk and your spiritual journey. When did that really start for you?
So I'm a person, I believe we become a new version of yourself every 5 years. Because if you think about it, from 0 to 5, that's so much development. 5 to 10, 10 to 15. You know, every 5 years you go through a phase of development. You know what I'm saying? I think personally, it's just a philosophy. So I was always in church. You know what I'm saying? But about every 5 years or so, I would get that new revelation of what I was actually involved in. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously 0 to 5, I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? 5 to 10, I'm starting to wake up a little bit. Like, my son 9, and he's starting to be a little bit more curious about God and understanding, like, because he's known it for as long as he's been alive. But now he's just now starting to get those real questions like, Dad, where is God at? What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? So he asked. So I would say around 9, 10, I started getting like him. 10 to 15, when I moved with my dad, that's when it got real for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching my dad actively, because I always did ministry and stuff with my dad, but now I'm older, I can put 2 and 2 together. I kind of understand now, like, okay, this person is addicted to something, and they're coming to my dad because they feel he's the conduit between him and God. Not understanding that you can have your own personal, but he's the person that you see right now as, you have a connection I need. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that this faith that you have can save me from whatever I'm running from.
Right.
And putting that together at a young age, 12, 13 years old, I'm like, man, this is real. I think I first prayed in tongues in like 9th grade. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But it wasn't like I was actively doing it, but I was at church, and that was something that happened, and I felt like that's something that I needed, you know, that direct line in that way.
Yeah.
But obviously throughout high school, I'm going through high school phases. You know, my body's changing, my mind is changing. I'm seeing girls differently. all that other stuff. So my faith was just up and down. Like, when I first lost my virginity, I thought I was going directly to hell that day. I promise you, I was walking back to my crib and I'm like, bro, it's over. It's over. I'm going to hell. It's a wrap for me. It is a wrap for me, bro. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? That's how I'm feeling like, bro. It's over.
Not instantly, though.
And I'm talking about, as soon as I remember like it was yesterday, I got in the street and I'm walking home. I'm like, bro, it's really over with. It's a wrap for me.
The high school pressures, I done fell victim to
It's over with. I'm evaluating everything. I'm telling you, bro, it was bad out. So, like, it was in my mind, but I think over time, me learning and growing and developing into the man I am, you have to go through those phases. You got to understand, like, it's like walking. When you first learn to walk, you bumping your head, you falling on stuff, you skimping your knees. But along the way, you learning like, okay, I can't step off this curb because I might fall. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this and that. So with my faith, it was the same. Like, it's just continued growth and understanding.
I think when he really, like, after he got in trouble, I feel like that's when it took a major turn.
Okay.
And where he was like on a straight and narrow, like, I really have to do this and do that because, but after he got in trouble is when it completely changed because before he was like, you would pray, go to church on Sunday, but you out Sunday night type stuff.
But like, even with that though, that's directly after high school into college.
Right.
So I go from transitioning, trying to figure out who I am as a young man to now being on my own in a world where I'm here with grown 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 18-year-olds my age, and you could do whatever you want. I'm living by myself. I just gotta be responsible for basketball and class. That's all I can, like, everything else is on me. So that culture shock, took a while to understand and get used to. But like she said, when I got in trouble and I had to focus and be on some like, all right, so what are you really doing? Then I was able to take that next step, of elevation.
That's dope.
I think, it's always like in college, and I always say that I was talking to one of my brothers in Christ about it, like, college is like, okay, so you, like you said, you knew about God, you learned about him, and you were kind of like in high school trying to build a relationship, but not really knowing much. And then you get to college and you live in this certain type of lifestyle. And it's not that you just live in a crazy, I'm a regular female that was in college. And you just in college, you trying to figure, figure it out.
Yeah.
But like I always say, college, when you find God in college,
it's different.
It's different because it's a complete, utterly like change because you have so much of an understanding and awareness now that like you didn't have before. Like, you might have knew who God was, or you might have been going to church and you might have been praying and different things like that. But then it's like when you get to college and like you said, you go through something or you just like really trying to figure out who you are as an adult, like it really changes. Because I know for me, that's when my relationship with the Lord like literally took off. Like I knew of God, I've been baptized, I went to church growing up and everything. But for me, when I got to college, that's when my relationship with God like completely took off. Completely took off. So did y'all go to college together?
I went to the University of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And he went to UD, but we were 45 minutes away.
It wasn't far.
Okay.
She ended up moving to UD she moved to Dayton after she got pregnant.
So when did y'all start dating?
High school.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been together since 2012.
Strong. I can't even do the math on that. What's that? I can't.
13 or 11.
Only 11?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't even do the math on
We've
that.
been married for 8. Yeah, 8 years.
Wow.
That's dope.
That's what's up.
A lot of up and down, bro. It's one of them things where like they all like my parents and people just told me going into marriage, like the first 5 years are the hardest, which is to me the truth. Like I feel like our first 5 years are just learning and growing because we was already together, but like we was trying to mature. We were young. We got married young, so we was trying to mature.
Like how old were y'all? 21. Yeah.
20 because we turned 21 when Devon turned 1.
And we got married right. I was 21, you were 20.
Yeah, like in between.
Oh, y'all were young.
Yeah,
like,
her birthday is December, mine's in April, so.
April what?
7th.
Okay.
In between that gap of her birthday and my birthday, we ended up getting married. Lil Devon turned 1. That's what I'm saying. Your birthday's December. We got married. Okay, you're right. Lil Devon's birthday and then my birthday. So all that was going on. But in our situation, like we was just maturing, we was growing, like we was trying to figure everything out, as young people, as parents, as everything. So
the first year for me was the hardest. I had a lot of questions because he got in trouble. So it was like our life was on this steady path. Like, okay, you're playing basketball. We're both in school. I have a baby. I moved to Dayton. I had just moved to Dayton and I can't remember the month. But then he got in trouble in December. So then our life was like, and I'm like, what? And we had just got married. Did we just get married?
Ooh, you had to
No.
You had to learn how to hold it down immediately.
Yeah.
Like that 50 Cent video. What song?
21 Questions.
21 Questions.
Oh my
100%.
God.
Yeah, you had to learn how to hold it down immediately.
Like, but then you're getting married. No, we got married after he got in trouble. But we didn't know he was in trouble yet.
You're right.
Okay,
Basically,
so we're just
the timeline of me getting in trouble. I got in trouble in December, but I didn't actually. No repercussions came until the next August. So in that time, like I didn't actually have to come back to because I had moved to Georgia. We left Ohio. Everything happened. I left UD. We left Ohio in like February or like right after I think Devon turned 1.
Yeah.
Left, broke her lease. We left, moved down to Atlanta, and we was there for a minute. And then March rolls around, and I get a call from my lawyer like, "You got to come turn yourself in." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Hold on. We gonna get there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about the timeline. The timeline.
But in between that, so we'll stop there. The
timeline.
But
was,
right there, then
up.
he's not going to school. I'm still in school. We have a 1-year-old. We moved in with my mom, and I'm working.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of, what do we call it?
Just resentment.
Resentment at that time.
Yeah.
Because then he's like, I still need to play basketball. So I have to pay for his membership at the gym. I'm working every single day. And then I'm still in school the whole time.
Wow.
And being a mom.
And being a mom.
And being a wife.
A new wife. Yeah, we had just got married. So
Yeah.
it was a lot. And once we get to that era, then you'll see like the resentment and the timeline. It was a lot.
Okay, so before we get to that, where did your relationship with the Lord like really take off at?
I would say, because during that time there was so much resentment, and it was resentment towards him.
Yeah.
And he had really got heavy in it. And I'm looking at him like, oh, look at you, just
Trying to be with God.
yeah, I'm like, look at you. So I had a period of where I just went out. Like we moved back to Columbus. We'll start remember. And I went out at like every weekend. He would stay in, but I was out.
It ain't bother me though. I'm the type, bro. I'm like, go ahead, do you? I don't care. You
that's
grown.
him. He's like,
Was you doing it intentionally?
I think
out of
so.
spite.
Out of spite.
Just
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
nope, you gon'
Yeah.
I think it
Okay.
didn't help that I just was like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know
He would be
what I'm
like,
saying?
I'm not going out. And I'd be like, I'm going out.
Yeah, you have a real laid back person. Well, a smart
It's-
alley.
That's what I say. It ain't
Like,
laid
It
back.
ain't laid back.
Yeah,
I'm
not
gonna keep it
laid
100
back.
like that. Like you say that, but that's not really my intention. When I'd be like,
No.
all right, go ahead. My mind says you're grown. I'm not your pops. Like, do what you want to do. I don't care. Just don't come back home tripping. You know what I mean? So when she was on that, I was just like, all right, figure it out when you figure it out. For me, like, it wasn't even necessarily that I was like diving head first on some like you know how people have that coming to God moment and then they just 180. I already knew God. I knew who he was. I just got serious about it.
And that's the part. I went to church on Sunday. I was probably out that Saturday. I was in church Sunday. But I would say when we moved to Canada and
That's when I first went pro. My first pro job was in Canada.
yes, and I got pregnant with our daughter, I think right after that.
No, Devin was 4 when she came. So it was probably like
When we moved to Canada,
it was a little bit after that. It was a
that's
little
when
bit after
I
that.
got on my straight and narrow, and I was like, okay, I have to do better.
But I think
myself.
that it got like that for her though because she could finally see what I was seeing in my mind. Like for her, because I went to 2 different schools too. It wasn't that I was just sitting at the crib waiting for opportunity. I had got a little job for a minute working at a little factory, and it was like 10 hours overnight. My
And he
back was
probably
hurting.
worked there for 2 weeks, yo.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
That's them basketball players.
So
athletes.
we-
No, but the crazy thing
Seriously.
it wasn't. I was going through a temp service. It wasn't that they hired me straight. I just got a call from the temp service one day, like, yeah, don't go back up there. I'm like, why? What's going on? They was like, they just don't need your position no more. And
But
then,
this whole time, I'm working, I'm doing all of that. So I
Yeah.
had a lot of resentment, and like we'll get there where it comes in. But I was doing a lot. It was. I felt like a lot was on my shoulders.
and I at one point when I was at this school in Arkansas, I had came up to her and apologized to her straight up, like my actions ripped our whole family out of a situation that everybody was cool in. So I had to keep it 100 with her and straight up apologize. And the apology wasn't for her to accept. It was more or less about, I want you to understand that I feel where you coming from. And
Like an understanding. Like,
yeah,
I want
like-
you to know that even though you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand.
I got you. Like, even though that I messed up and it put us in this position, I want you to understand, like, you're my person. And I want you, I feel your pain. I may not be able to fix it, but I want you to know that I do get you.
Right.
You know? I want you, we're not in this alone because I am with you.
Yeah.
You know,
and
here.
through all this resentment, I'm still going everywhere, moving in Arkansas. Like I was still going with
Being
him
supportive.
everywhere,
Yeah.
Right.
being supportive. But deep inside of me, it was like, I was just so mad, like mad.
I feel it.
It's understandable. That's why I didn't get.
No, it really be like that because resentment just come from like you feeling like you getting treated unfairly or like stuff like that. Like everybody didn't had it at some point, or if they didn't good, to them, like I know what it feels like because I had it as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Towards my parent, like you just feel like I don't have to go through this. I'm going through this because like
you're mad.
This ain't me. This is you. I'm getting treated unfairly. So I get that. But y'all, like you said, y'all had that early on and like in the beginning of y'all marriage because y'all were just getting together, a kid, this transition, and it's like all of that going on. So yeah, pretty much both of y'all in y'all relationship with the Lord really took off during that time.
Yeah.
Around that time. What's up, though.
I'll get into the details whenever you ready.
Yeah, which is what's up. It took off together. So
not
together,
but
around the same time.
Yeah, but at the same time, which is really good because y'all were young.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot to take into consideration at the time too, because y'all were young. I mean, I say that to say like it wasn't like y'all were like seasoned.
Right. It's tough.
And really had a full-blown understanding of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. And we talk about this too. We didn't have that example of what a marriage was.
Yeah.
Both of our parents were not, his parents were married for about 2 years. Mine weren't. Mm-hmm. They were just together for a long time. So we didn't know what a marriage looked like.
Right. Like trial by, like, I don't know how, my mom has been married twice since my dad. And even then it's like sometimes you watch the examples. And not even just my mom, just, your friends or whatever. Yeah, you just want to see what does it look like. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately in our community, it's tough to come by at times. A family that's 100% solid or we had some friends in Georgia, a family in our neighborhood. You think everything cool, kids playing with our kids, it's all love. The next summer, we had their crib cookouts, all that, everything cool.
They done moved, divorced.
Really? They divorced, moved. I'm talking about within a year, bro.
Wow.
Really?
So it's like it happens for us, but unfortunately, but at the same time, us having that example of what not to do kind of pushed us like, okay, be this type of parent. Like we used to get whoopings all the time. Our generation.
Yeah. Nah, seriously.
We got
with our kids.
You was getting hit with something.
Go get me that grape over there. You be like, I gotta pick it up.
Right. Psychologically telling a child or anyone to go get the weapon that you're about to do is crazy.
Seriously, that's super.
I remember going to get switches.
About to get what wood?
I remember going to get switches and stuff.
And you were trying to get the skinny one, and they be like, yeah, this about to hurt. You thought you got a good one?
Oh my God, the anticipation knowing you about to get whooped too.
Bro, when they called my mom used to get home at like 6:30, so I'd be at the crib all day.
Just thinking.
Just think about it.
And then you never talk to yourself like, bro, she hit me too hard. I'm telling you, bro, I'm running away. Bro, she hit me, bro, I'm gonna hit her back. Like, you're not about to hit her back.
It's different for girls because you can actually get in a little tussle with your mom.
No, but even as a girl, not to cross that line. I'm saying, like, you would be sitting in your head, like, I know it was so many times. I'm like, bro, if she hit me, bro, on everything I love, I'm gonna fight her. Like, I'm not. If she hit me, then I'm like, oh, swear to God, bro. But it's like that is
but when Kevin Hart told that joke about running away, I cried because every kid had to pack the bag.
For sure. Like, man, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
He said, me and He-Man are out. I'm getting my action figures and I'm bouncing. I've been there 100 times.
I used to try to fall asleep. Hope they forget.
No,
as soon as I woke up, all right, go.
I got one.
Come in here.
Yeah,
I was trying to go to the bathroom. I was getting in the shower. I'm doing everything to just make you deter from thinking about me, but 100%.
Quiet, trying to be quiet.
Yeah, for sure.
See, but I ain't gonna lie. It was at the point, like, my mama, she stopped whooping me. She started actually putting her hands on me. And that did more, like, to me.
Yeah, I ain't never get, like, me and my dad had one tussle.
She would, like, grab me up and, like, I'm light. So she kind of scratch me and stuff. Bro, so that's when I started being like, all right, now, because she hit me with a belt and I remember laughing. That was the last time I ever got hit with a belt.
That was the last time.
Well, after that, she started like kind of like putting her hands on me. That right there,
that's what caused me to move with my dad. Like me and my mom had a little situation, and looking back, like as an adult, now me and my mom had a lot of conversations about my childhood and just me understanding her point of view as an adult with children now. Like, I understand why you were away working. You have to work. You got to put up. You got to
take care.
You have to work. I understand why you were coming home and stressed, tired. Like I get it. I understand now as an adult. But you know what I'm saying? Like the time that like you said, it was abrupt right turn for me. It wasn't like a slow build up. It was like I went from being whoopings to her trying to choke me up one night. Same situation when she grabbed me, scratching me. I'm like, tripping, bro. I'm about to bounce. And that's what I ended up doing eventually, just going to my dad's crib. Not that she was like overly abusive, but I was on some like, bro, I just don't want to be in this environment. You feel me?
Sure.
It don't matter if they overly abusive. It just matter like, and this goes into like, cause y'all have kids and we don't yet. So maybe y'all can give us some tips, but it just goes into like, you know, like just being mindful of how you discipline your kid because like it's really, and I think as a Black community, that's sometimes where we fail at. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think. Your mom was working all that time. You get in trouble at school. She probably mad because, bro, I'm really trying to. You don't know what type of day I had. I didn't have. You know, we don't. You know, and they take it out. You know, and it's like, how about let's deal with our emotions first.
And not to mention their own relationships,
right?
Whatever they got,
whatever they got going on, bills. They might have couldn't pay something. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
So,
that's what I'm saying. I get it, but it's just like you got to have a better outlet.
I would say one of the biggest things we do is we apologize to our children if we're wrong. Like, and that's something we never got. Like you when your parent was wrong, who cares? You gonna get in trouble.
They hit you with you hungry.
No, for sure. Seriously though.
I'm even crying.
Call your cousin to see if he want to come over.
Yeah, like
bro,
you go outside if you want.
But if we're wrong, and even if we're not wrong, we do apologize to them quite often because sometimes as a parent you can be stressed and you take it out on them and you're like, or you're young.
Like I try to explain to him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, with Devon or something. Like I explained to him later on after the moment then passed, I'll double back and be like, this is why I did what I did. So you understand at least. I'm not explaining I'm not apologizing. You did what you did and I did what I did. Sometimes, like she said, if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. But after I discipline you on some, like, all right, you done push me to the point where I gotta respond. Cause I'll talk to my kids all day, yell at them.
And then that too, we talk to our kids. When they ask a lot of questions, and we were always told, be quiet and stay in a child's place, which is 100% valid at times. But kids literally have questions and they're trying to understand. And if you tell them to be quiet, then they're not going to understand.
That was my biggest beef as a kid. I just wanted to be heard and understood.
Nah, seriously.
I'm saying that like dead serious. Like internally, I feel like that was a lot of my struggle. Was like nobody wants to, because I was the only child by my mom. So when I came home from school, I was just in the house, me and my dog. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my grandmother, you know, would be kind of the buffer. She'll come get me or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, I was at the crib solo. So internally, when I finally did see my mom or whatever, you know, we on the weekend, riding around, whatever, and I want to have a conversation about something, and her mind ain't on that or whatever, it internally used to mess me up. Like, man, I can't even talk to my mom, right? Like,
that's crazy because you said you wanted to be heard, and as soon as you said that, I was like, dang, I wanted to be seen.
Yeah, it's something kids. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm in therapy now, and that's something that was one of the elements of my therapy that I went there for. I wanted to be more like emotionally available for my family because after my grandmother did pass away, I became very walled off to the world. She was the most emotional outlet for me. Yeah. Like I said, my mom was working and, you know, being an adult. Yeah. My nanny was one of them people that was like, I don't know what she was doing, honestly. I don't know. She was retired. I don't know what she was doing, but she was always there when I needed her. Mm-hmm. So I would talk to her and she was, just pray for her. But she would take my mind off it, you know what I'm saying, whatever. When that was gone, a lot of that stress just became a daily thing of, my mom got this going on. I'm going to school not going right. You know what I'm saying? I'm growing, I'm becoming a kid or a young man or whatever. I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z, but I don't have an outlet. I don't have nobody I can lean on. I don't have nobody I can talk to. So, and I'm keeping it all internalized. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no one to verbalize anything. I want to be heard, but I can't. So now I see my kids and I'm like, you know, I try not to shoo them away immediately. I try not to. You could tell in your kid's tone. You don't want anything, bro. You don't want nothing. You just want to talk. You just want to see what's going on over here. You want to whatever. Okay, all right, bye, go on. There's times though where we'll have that real conversation with him. Little Devon, Dad, you know, this is going on. You know, I feel this way. You know, whatever. Okay, let's talk. Right.
Do y'all think one? I have 2 questions. The apologizing method works. Like helps the relationship with your kid, and then also too the communication, like being able to explain to them when they do ask questions. Do y'all think those 2 things actually like help with parenting?
I do. I believe it because sometimes I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I have gotten really frustrated, and I'll take it out on both of them, honestly. Whoever in my sight can get it. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, so then I'll see them sad and it'll immediately be like, oh, dang, like it'll register and I'll talk to them. I'll be like, I'm sorry that I did say what I said to you and I saw that hurt your feelings, but this is what's going on. Can you give me some time? Can you give me a minute? Like, just to breathe? Because sometimes we just need to breathe.
You're still a human, bro.
Yes.
You just happen to be a parent along with it. You still need space. You still need all that, bro.
And then he will understand. He'll be like, yeah, you did hurt my feelings. And that too, letting your child tell you that you hurt their feelings.
That's validating too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's dope.
That's dope.
Y'all working on communication. Y'all working on communication in the household at an early age.
Yes.
To where y'all like y'all said, we didn't really typically have that.
No.
Especially as men, you know, we didn't, you know, we was brought up to where we really wasn't taught to be expressive and
don't cry.
You know, don't cry.
cry.
So to know that y'all are making or bringing up a household like that, that's super cool to hear, man. I'm super happy for both of y'all. I'm super proud as a friend, as a brother, to be, you know, a part of your lifestyle, because to see your growth as a man, to see you as a father, a husband, you're somebody I can look up to.
I appreciate it.
And somebody I can always call, be like, hey, bro, wifey tripping.
Yeah.
How do I deal with?
Don't do
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
Don't do that. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
And
Don't do
I was
that.
just, this is
How
about
do I
to be the
deal
part
with
where I was about to be
attitudes,
like,
but,
you know what? This is the time to do our little special little 1-2. Then you want to bring me in
No,
it.
but what's wrong with that though? What's wrong with that? Because y'all definitely will.
No, I appreciate. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all can keep going. I was being dramatic.
No, but
I
seriously,
appreciate that because I feel like males need it too. Like
They need an outlet.
We quick to call our,
Man,
whoever
your
we
mom,
can.
your mom, whoever, you have that conversation.
Just that one person. You ain't calling as a woman, your husband. You ain't calling mom.
No, I'm just saying though.
But
Women in general,
I love
you
that
have
he
someone to talk
can't
to.
do that with another married man. You know what I'm saying? But finish what you were saying, because I feel like it was a perfect segue.
But
That's a sidebar.
real quick
To
to add
those-
on, because single guys will give you the worst advice.
That's what I was about to say.
Let me-
Whoever's
let me
watching,
tell
if
you,
you're,
man,
if you're in a
know what?
relationship,
Don't even go home.
Yeah.
What? Are you
Bro,
gonna come out with
come
me
on
real
with us,
quick?
bro.
Right.
Like, don't do it, bro. If you in a relationship, and I'm not saying all single people, none of that. But if you're in a
Yeah, we're not talking
relationship,
about all,
don't
but-
take single people advice because they don't know what you're going through.
They don't.
If they do, they either did it and they can give you life experience that way. But actively, it's gonna be bad advice, bro.
Yeah,
Trust me.
for sure. And you still gotta know also, even in relationships, you gotta know who you getting advice from.
Exactly.
'Cause everybody
100%.
that's in a relationship, they ain't typically, not typically, but they might not be coming from
For sure. The same perspective.
The same perspective. So just knowing who you're getting advice from is super important. And I know personally, I can always come to you for advice when it comes to marriage.
Yeah.
One day being a father, God, we talk often about God.
Yeah.
You lead me in a way to where you've pushed me to become a Bible fanatic when it comes to making sure every morning I open up my Bible, because you'll hit me up like, hey, you ain't been in your Bible app in 5 days, bro. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I do that to him a lot. Like, it'll
Yeah.
be, when y'all was on, he hit me back with the bro, I'm on vacation. I'm like, yeah.
don't
I
stop,
was like,
though.
God out there too, brother.
Yeah,
You hear me?
No, but I know
Don't
you
do
hit though.
that.
Like, you right though. Like, you keep me accountable also. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, knowing you have someone in your life that you're both pulling the same direction, it makes you be accountable. You know what I'm saying? I be on my Bible app because I know I be on him. I can't press down on him and then I ain't been in there in 7 days. You feel me? So like, I enjoyed it. I was able to cultivate that with you.
I think this is a perfect segue too.
Oh, so with that being said, bro, giving flowers is something that we said this in the last episode. People only get them when they pass away.
Yeah.
So something big that we want to start doing to our guests, and I just want to give you your flowers right
Appreciate
now,
you,
bro,
gang.
for being a good father, a good husband, and those can go for you.
Let that be the-
Because if I knew you was gonna be here too,
No, it's okay.
For sure, 100%.
No, it's okay. He gotta give me
that,
weekly
for sure, bro.
flowers.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
appreciate that,
up.
bro.
You deserve them, bro. You really do, because like I said, you've pushed me to become a better man. You've continuously told me, how proud you are of who I have become as a person. And I'm just super.
I say it a lot to her.
Yeah.
Away from
You was
all
the-
that.
That's
Like,
what's
I'm
up.
And I say this, you was the person, I bought the ring, and I think I told you the story. I bought the ring, called you, or you called me. We happened to both be in Easton.
Yep.
I was like, well,
She
where
was
you
there.
at?
We was
Yeah,
right
was
behind
there.
her.
He was at home.
Yeah.
You see my
Yeah, Keanu
But
was
we-
there.
He was trying to figure out when he was going to do it.
Or how he was going to do it.
Because he
man. I
wanted
was like,
everybody
bro,
to be
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, I'm trying to figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I'm like, bro, just do this. It's not that hard, bro.
But you used to always ask, like, what's up? When you gonna do
yeah,
it?
when you going to make something happen,
When you
bro?
make it
Like, you've
happen.
been with her for this long. You done did this and that. Like, 'cause I have friends that,
Finally.
nigga, the expiration date hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was
seriously,
together
no,
for like
we
5,
have
6,
had-
7, 8 years. And there was
As
no
soon as
proposal.
he was about to do it, though.
Yeah, that's how it works. You people always, and that's a problem. People always be like, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect time. What you don't know is there's a time with other people where they be like, all right, it's been too long.
Right.
And
Yeah.
even though like, no, I'm about to give it to you. It's not the same now, bro. Like
They've
I've
checked out.
Yeah, I'm already past it. I'm over that hill. So
I would definitely say I was not ever. I don't think I would have like left him, but I was starting to get aggy because I was like, I moved to Columbus in 2020. I've been living with you. You know what I'm saying? It's 2021, and it wasn't that. But we had been together at that time for like when he proposed to me, we was together for like 5 years at the time.
Yeah.
But I was kind of looking at it from a spiritual standpoint and
Like,
kind of
what we
like what
doing?
other people were saying. I'm like, bro, we out here shacking up.
Yeah, facts.
And all this and that. And I'm like, bro, he I'm not about to keep like, you know, I was just, but I knew I wasn't at that moment like, because I was gonna have to wrap my mind really around like, if you don't propose to me, because I wasn't like that, but I was starting to get like, bro, I just moved up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been together for 5 years. Like, what are we doing? Like,
and the whole time he thinking, how I'm gonna do it the right way.
Right.
I promise you.
What you
We
don't
was like, just
understand,
do it.
though,
He
is
was like, I
like-
want her family to be around. I want da-da-da-da-da. He was like trying to plan out the perfect moment.
What
It
most
was
people don't
perfect.
understand though is like, you may be willing to, like how you said, like, I wasn't gonna leave him. Most women think that way. Like, I'm not gonna leave him. I just want him to come on. But when something happens in your relationship where, you know, typical relationship things, or he makes a mistake, or you just get to a point where you're like, bro, I'm not trying to deal with this. That's when
the break him. Yeah.
that's the needle.
Yeah.
Like that situation is the one that's like, all right, bro, on top of the fact I'm already irritated. Last 5 years, you ain't even mentioned marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now this didn't happen, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Or let's separate, let's take a break. Then you get away from that person, you start evaluating yourself, you feel more happy, you just are in a different mental space, and you like, bro, I enjoy this feeling more than I enjoy the other feeling. You know what I'm saying? So you can't play that game as a man, bro. I'm not saying rush into it, but put yourself on a timeline.
So would y'all agree that men know? Like, they know?
Once you start asking other men who are married, how do you know? That's how you know. You know what I mean?
Really?
Dead serious. Because he asked me, like, how do you, like, this is before this situation. He's asked me before, like, how did you know she was the one or whatever? And I'll be like, bro, you never fully know. It's not like you just wake up one day and be like, yep, this is it. But you do know, I always say this, you evaluate your life plus and minuses. Is your life drastically better or worse without this person?
For sure.
And there are real toxic, bad situations where you be like, you do the plus and minuses, like, yeah, we have fun together, but all of these things are why I shouldn't be with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're real with yourself and you do that real evaluation as a man, you should be able to say, okay, there's no reason for me not to move forward with this or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing to him, you know, do the plus and minuses with her in your life up until this point. And if it's like an overwhelmingly positive, then what are you waiting on?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that they know what they don't know, you know, until they do that evaluation.
Yeah, I think that was dope, man. Like I said, that was, you know, and I look at all the God's signs. So for me to get that ring that day and then to talk to you and randomly, it wasn't set up in the car, and we're right here with each other. And then like, I think you asked, I don't even think I initially told you. I think you asked, right? I think he pressed me then, like, what you
what's
doing?
going on? Yeah.
And then I'm like, bro, you
I be on that.
Yeah.
With my male friends that I really already know are like that, I'll be like, bro, so what you doing?
Yeah, and
You know what I'm
and
saying?
I think I just told you, like, yeah, bro. I'm coming from K's right
Yeah,
now.
I just got the ring.
What's up? How we gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know, you like, okay, photography, boom, boom, boom. So that was pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
So
that's what.
Thank you, Devin.
Look, that's why when I approach and be like, when I say what's up, family, like I really mean that. Like you don't even understand as a person how intertwined your lives are with someone.
Yeah.
Because you would have never got that story outside of maybe he told you or I told you or whatever. That's something
and this was the perfect moment too.
Yeah, like there's just things about our lives that are intertwined that only happens with family. I have friends, I have associates, and I have family. Like Q is someone, like I said, that's known me since 13, 14 years old. Those relationships don't come every day. So you have to look at him and who he brings along as his person, as family.
for sure.
That's what's up.
So with the segment, let's go ahead and do you want to put him on the spot?
We can have a little fun.
What's up?
We've been
40,
serious.
we'll do the
Let's
40.
do it.
We'll do the 45 seconds today. We'll do 45
All
seconds
right, let me
today.
put my timer on. We're gonna do rapid fire.
Little rapid fire for you.
You wanna
all
see
right?
where your
you
head
can, you can
at.
try to help him. You can help him. All right.
I'm looking at her like, bro, you might have to answer some of these.
Yeah.
So 45
We're
seconds.
gonna do 45 today.
Okay. Oh, you giving
Was it
him?
normally 30?
It was 30.
It was too hard with 30?
Nah, it just just when it's this or that, you like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you use 15 at least to be like,
Yeah. So you tell us when you're ready.
All right.
Go ahead.
3,
Look, what's up?
2, go.
Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan,
KG,
AI Kobe,
Cole,
Batman, Superman,
Superman,
Joker, Embiid,
Embiid personally.
favorite teammate ever.
You can answer this one. Who's your favorite teammate for me? Because that's tough. You don't have a favorite
Barbosa.
teammate? Okay, that's fair.
J. Cole, Kendrick,
Cole, that's my guy.
go-to Bible verse,
Philippians 4:13.
Yep.
favorite disciple,
Ooh.
Paul.
spirit or frontier.
Walk.
What I say, I told you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Crazy?
you beat the time, but we gotta go back to like Superman and Batman.
Bro,
right?
this is
Batman all
what y'all-
day, every
this
day.
is what you
He
clowns-
always want to say Batman don't got no power.
No, it ain't even that. It ain't even that.
Thank
This
you.
is what you people don't understand.
Look,
and
you
this is
people.
what irritates me, bro. Batman is a rich white man with karate skills.
Bruh.
No. Let's just keep it 100.
Okay, I got something for you.
That's
though.
what it is. Batman is a rich. He's smart. In the comic books, he's the world's greatest detective. I really went through this. I'm a comic book fan. I really went through this with one of my other comic book fiends. He's like, my man's just like, bro, Batman is
Batman every day, all day.
I'll be like, okay,
Me
so
too.
realistically, Superman can hear from space. He can hear from space.
He's an alien, bruh.
He's an alien. You're correct. The one weakness he has is kryptonite. Right. If Batman does not actively have, and he will figure out a way, that was his contingency for the Justice League. He has out plans for everyone, how to kill each superhero that's in the Justice League, because he was like, I can't allow this super team to just dominate the world, right? So he has the Flash, some way to kill him. The only way you can kill Superman is kryptonite. If he does not have kryptonite, how is he making that happen? Explain it to me.
But let's talk about no.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
No, explain it to me though. Explain it to me. How, if it's
That's
not
even what I'm thinking.
I'm
not
thinking
even
who's
thinking
a better superhero? The man who don't die.
I'm thinking more realistically.
What's more
In the
realistic than
world.
that?
In the world, Batman,
you need
talking about
Batman.
a Superman,
Superman,
you
who gonna
talking
be
about an
flying.
alien, somebody that ain't gonna be on. No, we talking about an everyday person.
I want a
somebody
person
that
who can fly, who can run super fast and be on any side of the earth at any moment. I want a person who.
But that's not real.
Batman
Batman's
is real.
not real.
Yeah, he
Do you understand in the real world? In the real world,
bro, he's an actual.
in the real world, Batman would be in jail. He'll be in prison.
You can't be Superman if you want it to
Batman would be
be.
in prison. I
can't
can't be
be
Superman. I can't be Batman either.
What was? So how was it like? So
I can't be a rich white man either. I'm sorry. I can't be that guy.
But you could be a rich black man if you wanted to. You could be a rich
I'll
black
put
man
it this
that would
way.
be Batman. You could be Black Panther.
I was gonna say a better comparison that me and my friend had when we had this conversation was Black Panther or Batman. That's a very, very, very
Okay, and then I would go with Black Panther.
I would
for
go with
that.
Black Panther also. And it's not because he's black, but he has more money.
Yeah.
He's smarter,
Because he's
intelligent
black.
wise, and we looked that up.
And he has more resources.
He has an entire
That,
country.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm choosing that person versus this person. But in that conversation with Batman and Superman, if they was to ever actually fight in real life, it wouldn't even be close. Not even close.
I can't let him skate past this. This is the last one, and you can go to the next question. You said your favorite disciple was Paul.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain why?
Yeah, I mean, Paul is one of them people in the Bible. To me, he's one of the more realistic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in the Bible, we romanticize things in a way that make it almost not realistic. You know what I mean? Like we read Jesus' life in a linear way. Not understand this is over 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're reading it in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. You know what I'm saying? We're reading them from different perspectives, but in a linear way, whereas realistically it's happened over 3 years, blah, blah. So Paul, you can see his growth inside the Bible and who he became after Jesus passed. Sorry, I didn't mean to put my hand in your face. Paul originally was murdering Christians.
Yeah.
That was his job. You know what I'm saying? That's who he was. And that's one of the reasons, too, Jesus' ministry was so important because his disciples weren't Pharisees, Sadducees, the people that were religious leaders of that time. He chose common people and what seemed to be crooks, tax collectors. The tax collectors were seen as bad people because they would overcharge, take people money, all kind of stuff like that. Fishermen, you know what I'm saying? People that are laborers, you know what I'm saying? People that work like everyone else, you know what I'm saying? So Paul specifically, like I said, he was a person where you could see his arc of being a murderer, literally, people who followed Christ, to being the leader of the New Age church, the post Gospels, Romans, Philippians, Galatians. Those are all letters from Paul to churches in those locations.
Yeah.
So for him to be a forefront leader of the church after actively trying to destroy the church, to me is, you can't get no better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That shows true love, real God's grace, all of that.
And it shows
everything.
like the human race, like how we grow up, we do what we want, but then we find our way.
And God is able to use anyone.
Well, that's good. I like that. That's why I had you explain it, because it's like Paul. I thought you maybe would have said like a David or something like that.
Well, he's not a disciple.
Well, you're right. He's not.
Yeah, characters in the Bible. I have other. When I say characters, I mean people. Just people in the Bible. I have other people. I like Samson. I love Samson. He's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Based on his story, also. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like
Have you watched The Chosen?
No.
We was watching.
He did tell me about it.
We watched The Chosen, and they introduced Matthew, whatever. He was a tax collector. And Q was like, bro, why they don't like him so much? I'm like, bro, because he's a tax collector.
He's a terrible dude.
They like spitting him, you know,
they do
doing
not
all
like
of this.
them,
But The Chosen, I mean, I ain't getting sponsored by them, but I'm telling you,
He
when
told
I
me about it.
say
He sent me the link. I gotta watch it.
if you watch it, it just like it kind of start off a little slow because it's, you know, it's kind of back. But when I say once you start watching each episode, you like, because it brings it to life.
And
like,
trust me, all this
stories.
garbage TV we watching, you can watch something that's edifying.
For sure.
And when I say we was watching it, like we were in there watching it, like it's like, you know,
Power
like seriously, because it's like, bro, because
that's
you
what
get
the
to see
Bible
it in
is, though.
Mm.
The stories, if you actually read the stories, is crazy. The first Genesis is one of my favorite.
Really, I'm trying.
When you break down Abraham,
it's tough.
It's tough because
oh my god,
I think Genesis is Genesis and Revelation is so hard for us to comprehend or digest as people these days, because we're seeing and imagining a world that was so primitive. We're not understanding, like, that's one thing that I hate about the black community in general when it comes to church. We don't put anything in context in the black church as a whole. Of course, there's some that know what they're doing, but nothing is in context. So we just getting these stories throughout our life and not understanding, like, there's context, there's timing, and there's reasons for everything. So, like, we're looking at this primitive lifestyle of people sacrificing their children and, Abraham having sex with so-and-so and doing X, Y, and Z. And it's like, bro, you're not understanding. Other side of the world, customs are different. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just was different. And it doesn't make it right, it doesn't make it wrong. It makes it what it was.
What it was.
And the same thing still happens today that we don't give credit to. It may not be as drastic as the Bible, but there are still primitive practices that are going on in the world that shock us, but are normal to them. You know what I'm saying? It just happened to be that Jesus
I gotta
from there.
ask though, what's primitive mean?
Primitive?
You gotta explain that one to me.
Primitive is like really, really old, or like primate. The word derives from primate. Okay. So primal, primate, primitive. Okay. It's all about the same.
All right, I get what you're saying now. Yeah. That's super
he let throw in some
big words.
He doesn't think they're big words, but people be like,
the difference is I read books that are edifying. She read books that are stupid and just drama.
Another word,
such
edifying.
A hater. Exactly.
You be in the church, you know they be in there. This is edifying to the you know when they get say the grace.
Oh my God.
I love me a good love story. That's why.
She love these love stories. She talking about.
He be mad that I read more books than him.
No, that doesn't bother me. I be like, you read.
So you read one book and you think you mastered it.
No, I be so mad because she's capable of just sitting and reading a book straight through in one night, but she's reading those books. I'm like, bro, if you could read something that's like actually beneficial.
I told him I be learning about love.
You be learning this. Hey, one day she talked about, I'm reading this book now where, you know, this dude this woman is in love with this dude, but he like died in the past and then he came back, and I'm like, what?
I told you I didn't like that one. It was by Colleen. Variety. Mm-hmm. I think it was that one. And I told him I didn't like that.
I'm like, bro,
book.
don't ever come to me talking about that again.
I was
bro.
like, this is wild.
I'm telling her I'm reading.
I wasn't a big book reader, and I'm still like trying to get into the game, if I'm being honest, but the books that I read now is more so like those spiritual books, so like a Joyce Meyer, like The Battlefield of Mind, Living Beyond Your Feelings, stuff like you said, is edifying.
Yeah, I balance between spiritual books and like real world books, like financial and stuff like that.
I try every now and then.
This could be a segue to what you were trying to get at. Was I picked up that habit of reading in jail.
Really?
I had nothing to do.
But he was going to UD and you went straight to jail. How about you want to go with UD first?
He was going to jump back to that
period. Well, UD, initially, I just wanted to ask, you know, as a collegiate
University
athlete.
of Dayton, right?
Yeah, University of Dayton as a collegiate athlete. So, what was that like stepping onto the floor? Because, you know, I played D2 ball. D1 ball is completely different. And you played on a huge stage.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, y'all made that run to the Elite Eight. Mm-hmm. What was it like just to transition from high school ball to college ball?
The biggest thing I think that smacked me in the face within like the first couple workouts was just the pace of everything. Mm-hmm. The pace, you know, Satch, you remember them practices, like we just rolled the ball out, played, and kept it moving. But I went to visit UD on my official, watch a practice. They were about to play Xavier, which is our biggest rival. And the pace of changing from this drill to this drill, bigs over here, guards over here, moving. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no walking. We're getting to our destination. The warm up, everything is the coaches got a paper that they keep folded in their shorts of the schedule. And you got a dude on the op side. Hey Archie, you 5 minutes over. We got to move on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a business. Everything is technical. There's rules and all that. So I started really, really understanding. Like, hold on, they not playing. Like it's no games. Like it's a train moving full speed ahead. And if you're not on the train, you'll get left, meaning recruited over, which actually what happened, I happened to unknowingly force out someone that is from Columbus and push him to transfer, you know, between me and Jalen going there. And I felt bad because I didn't know that was the scenario. I'm thinking I'm about to be, because he
Playing
was
with him.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is my guy. You know, he's a little older than me, so I grew up watching him. He's he was with me on my visit. He
He went
hosted
to
me
our
and
school.
Jalen.
Did you play with him?
What was his name? Oh,
Yeah, I didn't want to put his name out there because that could be potentially embarrassing to someone. Like you gonna be that guy.
Hey, when you said I'm in a thing, I'm like,
because I thought about
dang,
it.
you gonna throw my man under the bus? I try not to be that guy.
He went to my school. Okay, I be getting confused.
Like I said, he ended up going to Oakland and still finishing his career, play fine.
Right.
But regardless, I didn't want to push him out. That was not my intention. But like I said, it's a train, and you know they literally told Ralph, and it's grimy. That's what I'm saying. It's a cold game.
It's a business.
They
like
told
you
him,
just said.
they told him straight up and down. Archie told him straight up and down, like, look, man, there's not many minutes for you left after we get these two freshmen. You know, because we already had. It would have been me, Jalen, Ralph, Devon Oliver, who's a 3-4, Matt Cavanaugh, who was a 5, Josh Benson, who was a 5. That's 6 bigs, Big A, 7
I was
bigs,
about to say Big A,
7 bigs on one roster of 15
team.
people.
Yeah.
So.
That's for sure half the team.
So I felt very bad about that, but it is a business, and that's what hit me early. Outside of like the physical, actually being in the workouts and all that, but awakening to the fact that there's millions and millions and millions of dollars on the line for all of these people at any given moment. Yeah. So I think that was number one for sure.
I think that's important to know because a lot of young athletes, they don't really see the business aspect of the game, you know, especially considering, like you said, they're coming up in a culture to where they're so soft.
But the NILs, bro. Kids getting NILs in high school. NILs is the deals where now athletes who are not professionals can be paid through sponsorships.
I seen that with the LSU girl.
Yeah. So it's a lot of them. It's millions of dollars being thrown at these kids, and it's like that's another issue that now someone like Mikey Williams just got arrested for like a domestic violence situation, a high school kid, before he's going to Memphis with Penny Hardaway. His issue is how, as a parent, can you tell him you're tripping? He's paying all your bills. He probably moved into his own crib.
How can you parent him?
How can you tell him anything? Ma, what are you talking about? I pay the bills in here. What are you talking about?
Wow, that is different.
That dynamic is horrible. That dynamic alone it has me looking at that like, bro, I can never let my son come home and I tell him, Devin, take the trash out. For what?
Yeah.
You take the trash.
Yeah, for sure.
I pay the bills. You gonna take the trash out.
I didn't even think about that.
My teammate, one of my teammates in Korea, his son is like one of the top receivers in collegiate football right now. He go to Clemson. He was last year. He played there, and he was like I said, he was a freshman, but he was one of the top ones in the country. And me and him was talking one day, and he like, man, yeah, you know, my son, he got like 20 bands just for signing some top trading cards. He said, I go on my son's account, his stuff looking bigger than mine.
He talking about, why you in my account?
Yeah, his son like, why you in my account? What you looking at? You know what I'm saying? That's his mentality. But he didn't say it disrespectfully. But he just like, damn,
right.
But
stop. He said, stop monitoring my money.
Yeah, like, but you got to think as a kid in college, you got 20 racks just sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Your mind is completely different.
That's rich in college.
I was waiting.
That's rich anywhere. 20 bands?
But in college, that's
oh yeah, that's different. That's different.
You know, you the brokest in college.
Man, I was waiting on refund checks in college.
Man, what?
Refund checks and the monthly stipend.
They ain't even last. But I think that's important to know because a lot of young student athletes, they don't really see the work ethic that's really behind the scenes. And like you say, I played D2 ball, so I can only, and we worked hard, but I can only imagine what it was like being on a high level D1 program. Yeah. What year did y'all make it to the Elite Eight?
2014.
So that was your freshman or
sophomore year.
Yep. How did y'all do your freshman year?
Freshman year we was 17 to 16. 17. We had a very up and down year. We had seniors that had a previous head coach that changed to our head coach now and all that. It was just a weird, because I was Archie's first recruitment class. So everybody he inherited. So, I think that there was still like some trust to be earned. The seniors had their own intentions and stuff for after school. So that first year was tough. But the second year, once those guys were kind of gone and we were able to lock in and build a culture. And even that year, we in January, we had a real bad spurt of like 5-6 losses in just January.
When did he recruit Jordan? That year?
Seibert?
Yeah.
We came in at the same time.
Okay.
Jordan Seibert transferred from Ohio State to Dayton at the same time I was getting there, so 2012.
Okay.
So that helped a lot. But like I said, we had to shift the culture from the past
to what y'all was leaning towards, which led y'all to making that Elite Eight run your sophomore year. And I remember watching y'all's games, bro. Because I want to say at the time I was at Wright State. Yeah, I was at Wright State. I want to say because you were a year. I want to say I was at Wright State where I could have been at Cape, but I remember watching y'all and just seeing the games, and then once the tournament start, I remember like, man, I'm thinking in my head like, man, my boys, they gonna do it, because Jalen and Devon Scott, and then by now I done met Scooch, I done met
y'all stayed up at school.
So now I was like, I really got a relationship not only with my brothers that's on the team, but
the team
with the teammates. They didn't actually embrace me. I done came, I didn't shot around with them.
Bro, you came at the perfect time. Pause. You done came around campus at the perfect time of summertime. Yeah. That's the time we would always kick it because we ain't had the heat was obviously in school, but nobody had classes. Yeah. It was just us on campus, like sports. It was us, women's basketball, volleyball, and I think maybe soccer. That's it. So when they would pull up in the summertime, it would just be us kicking it, eating, chilling in apartments. I still have a video on my phone. Yeah. Jizz dancing to that boosie. Q sitting at the table. We all out of it, and this dude dancing behind us. We don't even see him. I forgot who was recording. It might have been you. No. You was.
I can't remember.
Man.
So was that the year of the Elite Eight run?
It was going into
that year.
Yeah.
That was the year we had our son, actually.
Okay. So what was that like? What was the experience like for someone like myself who's never, been a part of nothing like that? Yeah. What is the tournament like?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That's probably one of the most fun times playing basketball I've ever had. And it's only because it's every possession feels like it matters. It's so high intensity. The fans, you playing in these huge arenas
sold
now.
Out.
Like, what was your seed?
We were like an 8 or something like that. I got to look. Because that year we actually played well. We beat Georgia Tech when it was like, I'm sorry, not Georgia Tech. We did beat Georgia Tech, but they weren't ranked. Gonzaga was number 12 at that time. We beat them. We beat St. Louis, who was like 15 at their crib at their time. We lost to Baylor by 1 on a last second tip in that had like Isaiah Austin and Kenny Cherry, who ended up being very good, all that. Like I said, we beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech in the ACC, beat University of Cal that had Jaylen Brown on it. So we was getting a lot of very good wins to stack on top of the fact that our out of conference strength of schedule is so like good. You know what I mean? So all of those games, and then you get to the tournament where now we're playing at our second round was in Memphis.
It was at the Grizzlies Stadium.
Yeah, we played at FedEx Forum. So and before that, we played in Buffalo. We played Syracuse in Buffalo, bro. It was crazy. Wow. So like it was like the arena was split with our fans and their fans. It was crazy, bro. It was a crazy time. But like I said, that's the funnest basketball I've played because it was so emotional. You're so locked in. You want some. At the time, I'm like, I'm not getting a haircut till after we win. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. All that.
Going through the motions, I'm caveman.
Yeah, we locked in. Like I'm not here to look pretty. That's me. To me, it's two different type of hoopers. Like there's guys who are here for the glitz and glamour, maybe very good, maybe not, but they want that. They care about that. And then there's my type of guy who's just like, this is war. We out here to get something done. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't care about looking good on TV and all that goofy stuff. If I look good on TV, I'm doing something wrong. Right. I'm supposed to be looking like I'm out here getting to it. You feel me? Like, sure. It's different.
It's wartime.
Yeah. And that comes from us. Yeah. Back in the day.
And y'all played State. What was that?
That was the first game of the tournament.
The first game?
Mm-hmm. So, Aaron Craft and all them.
Dang, so playing State, first game, what was that like playing your home team? For me, home college team?
It was a lot of mixed feelings because I had been recruited by them, not heavy enough to get a scholarship, and that's Ohio State's fault. They don't recruit out of their own backyard. They let Trey walk for Shannon Scott. They let so much talent just get out of Columbus that doesn't make sense. So I didn't have no beef with them, but I knew them well. I knew Coach Bowles. I knew Aaron from high school. I knew all these dudes. We play together. We play basketball together all the time. So I have the mixed feelings of not going there, and the fact that I know y'all. So when we talk, it has a little bit of more salt on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sure.
Like, you trash.
But then you had Jordan Seibert who just transferred.
Yeah, he just transferred.
So. Yeah, he just transferred.
So it was personal. This is
his first year playing. He didn't play. So
what was this, an 8 versus 9 seed?
Nah, they was like I got a picture. I still got the picture from Selection Sunday.
They was pretty high, wasn't that? I would say.
Yeah, they wasn't. They was probably like a 5, 6, somewhere in there.
I remember, and that shocked pretty much the world.
Everybody.
The state.
Because it was like, okay, you from Columbus, do you go for State or do you go for
your
Dayton?
Guys,
you know, and do you go for your guys? So it's like when y'all pull that off, it's like,
we were in 11. I'm sorry,
we were
an 11 seed.
11.
Yep.
Okay.
And were they 3?
Ohio State was a 6.
Okay.
6, because that's more of a
So we beat the 6 seed, we beat the 3 seed, we beat the 10 seed, and we lost to Florida on the other side.
Right, I do remember that. Mm-hmm. But man, y'all had a suit. Y'all that was legendary just to watch. like I said, to watch, it feel like you was a part of it. To see y'all out there on that big stage, cutting down them, trying to cut down them nets and making it win a whole national championship. That was just legendary. Like I said, for knowing all of y'all, knowing Scooch, man. Yeah. So shout out to that for sure.
Yeah, man. That was one of them times in my life where, like I said, it was so much fun playing basketball. But
it was a crazy experience. It
was a wild experience, but you in the moment you don't feel how fast you're moving. You know what I'm saying? You moving fast. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the tournament, you in a hotel. Hey, they hitting us all. Hey, come to this spot. We got a meeting. Today we have an open practice where the fans can come watch us. We just gonna shoot. We doing this and that. We have our real shoot around tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You on the schedule.
What month was that?
March.
Okay, and we had just had our son in February.
Yeah, he was small.
So I have him, little. And we're traveling behind the whole time. And he's just this tiny little baby, probably a month old.
Yeah, he was very small.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
He was born on a game day. UD game
was
day.
He?
Really?
So I didn't go to the game.
What did you do?
He didn't go.
This is my first kid.
I just want to make sure.
He got in trouble though, and he couldn't play the next game.
I had to sit the half of it, that was so crazy to me, but I wouldn't even. I was like, whatever, bro.
Because you want to be there for your child.
Like, they make him sit.
Business, the sport is to where it's like you're not going to even take in the fact that if I'm having my son,
my first child,
I can't. I can't
be there.
I can't run extra sprints at practice.
Why do I have to be punished for something like that? I'm not missing this for my birthday because I was late because my child is being.
He left the next day and they had to get on the road and he had to sit the first half of that game.
Imagine if there was some type of complication or something while I was at the game.
Right.
I wasn't even going to be able to play in that game anyway because my whole mind would have been with her anyway. So I'm like, what's the point of me going? I told him. I went to practice the day before and I told him like, yo, she happens to go into labor at any point during the day, I'm not coming to the game, bro.
Right.
Archie on something, if you no show, no play, you got this now. I mean, whatever, bro. I ain't even care.
I'm gonna take that on the chin.
Yeah, you got to. Like, what?
Like I said, I was just salty about the fact that I even had to make that choice. I know for a fact if one of these coaches has anything going on, they ain't got no penalty, they ain't gotta pay no fine. Hey, my kid's being born, I'll be back. Like, that's what they care about. But as a player, it's a whole different different vibe.
It shows you how much of a business it really is. Yeah. So your next year. Did you end up playing your next year at UD?
Yeah, I left. I got in trouble halfway through. Yeah, I ended up being captain of the team.
Year.
I was captain. We was just fresh off the Elite Eight. I was on draft boards, all that. Like I was booming. We ended up losing in Arkansas. We flew to Arkansas to play them, Bobby Portis and them. Lost, came back, and then that was like December 15th. I was halfway through the month. So right before conference play. And then you had got into some trouble. Yeah. That landed you pretty much you missed the rest of your season and then you had to I didn't play college basketball again. Wow. I went to two other schools. I had a red shirt. They basically put it to where I went NAIA first to HBCU in Arkansas, made me red shirt, and then that coach ended up getting fired. So I was like, I don't even want to be here. It's Little Rock, Arkansas, bro. Yeah. Like it's not it. But went from there to Tiffin. And the coach there is gassing me up. Jared's brother, Julian, and Jordan Cyber's brother, Logan, are assistants. So I'm like, bro, this is love. These are my guys. I'm in a good position. I'm good. So when I get there and, long story short, I end up having a red shirt again. And I'm like, bro, it's over with. So
he fell into a deep depression at that time.
That was the first time in my life I recognized depression.
But see, I can only imagine because you went from a level, you just went from being on the playing on the super high level, Elite Eight, to an all-time low. So how did you, and like you said, you went through a depression, how did you adjust to that? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was just working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hit the ground running. After I got out of jail, I messed around and I had to be in Ohio for 2 weeks because my probation had to get transferred out to Arkansas. During that time, I'm straight back in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Instantly.
But before we get there, I want to say God had his hands around him because before he went into the jail, the coach in Arkansas was like, we'll wait for you. When you get out, you can come. Because
originally I was supposed to be able to finish school first, then I could do I had 3 months. For those who don't know, essentially the situation that got me in trouble was I stole some money from some kids in some dorm rooms. You know what I'm saying? I was drunk one night, being stupid, ended up stealing some money with my teammate, and that landed me in jail 7-8 months later, you know what I'm saying, for 3 months, from August to November. And during that time, like I said, when I picked up the habit of reading books, got real serious about God, just understanding who I was. But on the school side, when I finally got out, it was on some like, I got to get moving ASAP. You know what I'm saying?
You had already, before he went to jail, the coach had came down.
Because I was supposed to do my 3 months after. He was with that. He was cool. He was like, we'll hold your scholarship. You good.
What a blessing.
Okay.
Yeah, went out there in the summertime, did some summer classes, did some work, was hooping, all that. It was all love out there. Then came home. My lawyer hit me, said, you got to come up here for this hearing, blah, blah. The co-defendant had pissed the judge off because I think he had failed a drug test. So I had to, this clown, I'm in the courthouse. I'm about to go into the courtroom. There's news cameras in there. It's a whole thing. She says, okay, I'm about to go down to the meter and put some money on the thing. I don't want to get a ticket. I'm like, I'm about to walk into this room. No, I'll be back. She leaves. I go in there. I get sentenced, everything. Come out. I don't see her until they're walking me to the jail.
Wow.
In handcuffs.
So you you had no idea, of course.
No, I wasn't supposed to go that day.
Yeah, you just started.
We bonded him out the same day, but
No.
when you got sentenced.
Yes, I wasn't supposed to get sentenced that day. I was supposed to get sentenced, but it was supposed to be postponed until I was done with school.
Wow. So how was that?
Well, yeah, what was that like?
I was pissed that she left.
That she went to,
what was that? What was how did your gut feel when it's like, I didn't even come here for this. Now I came here with my wife at the time, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm leaving here about to go to jail. I had no idea this was about to happen.
The biggest thing for me was like when the judge started running it down and everything, like I couldn't even be really mad at him. I couldn't be mad at anybody but myself. You know what I'm saying? I was more irritated at the fact that like you put yourself here, these cameras behind you, they just waiting to get some type of reaction off you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I stood strong, held my chin up, chest out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a parent now, and the same thing I tell my kid, I tell myself in my head, like you wasn't crying when you did what you did.
Right.
Don't cry now. So I didn't until I walked out of the courtroom into the back where I got to sign these papers to be taken to jail. Started dropping some tears, and the police officer was cool. He was just on some like, man, you know, I understand. You know, I know who you are. I know your situation. They ain't doing you right. You know, they trying to make an example of another black athlete at a white school. But just keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just know that you're going to be fine. So I had that moment. And then as I'm walking from the court area to the actual jail, she's standing out there. And I wasn't allowed to give you a hug, right?
Yeah, they let you.
Oh, yeah. But a moment she didn't even know I had went in the bathroom because I was like on the verge of about to cry. And I was just sitting here. I had to keep her under control because she was about to cry too. I'm telling her, like, don't worry about it. I'm not going today. She's like, all right, you know, whatever. And I'm like, hold on, I'm about to go to the bathroom. And my son walks in there behind me. He probably just jumped down and just followed me. And when he walked in behind me, I was literally like on the verge of crying. And he just walked up to me with his hands out. I picked him up and stood him on the counter. And he just wanted to give me a hug. Made me cry, bro. Broke down right there.
That's God's blessing.
You
That was
about to make me cry right now?
That was him coming to comfort you. You know, that was just God coming to comfort you in that exact moment. Like, man, you know what? Girl, I got you.
On the inside though, like I'm like, nobody knows I'll be having these moments. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody knows about that. I probably haven't even told, but probably like a handful of people about that. But in that moment, I was just like, all right, bro. Like, it's like you said, that comfort of like God letting you know, like, you about to take that.
The small signs.
Yeah, you about to take that walk, brother.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard. He didn't want us to visit him because he didn't want our son to see him like that. But we end up doing it, and it was hard for him then because he was crying for him because he's behind a glass. But now that he's older, he doesn't remember it. He know Google, so he know.
Kids these days, so I'm not gonna say these days.
So he'd be like, "Dad, you went to jail?"
But it don't like
yeah, bro, you came to visit me. You don't remember?
I don't even tell them that.
Google
But
now.
I keep it 100 with my kids the same way I would anybody else in the street. Like it's a tough conversation because they're so young at times, explaining exactly what happened. But still, it's nothing to hide because you got Google, you got the internet. You know what I'm saying?
And he Googles his dad. He's obsessed with his dad. He Googles his highlights. He Googles everything. So he Googled it and was like,
we should make a rule on Google. You got to delete stuff after 5 years of my history.
Yeah, some
Get
stuff
it out the way.
So he
5 years
when
gone.
he Googled him, he was like, and he told his little sister.
Really?
Kids will walk up on you like.
She was like, "Dad, what you go to jail for?"
I just be like, I had to tell her like, yeah, I stole some stuff. She's like, why you do that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, I'm not about that, but whatever it was, it's not gonna make sense to you right now. You know, when you get older and we can have that talk for real. But for right now, bro,
we try to keep it to a
for sure.
But our son, he's 9, he can read, he knows. But with her, we be like,
bro, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
For sure. Just chill.
So like coming out of jail, you know, making your new transition, what was it like with the UD? Because I know for a minute, I know it was like
bro, once I left campus that day, I didn't go back for like a minute, bro.
you didn't hear from anyone. There was one coach who checked on me often.
Who, Griff or T.O.?
Griff. Griff.
Okay.
T.O., he came through for him a couple times too.
T.O. definitely showed love.
Yeah, T.O. and Griff. Griff would check on me all the time and be like, how are you? How's Devon? Yeah. But other than that, nobody.
Griff was a black coach I had. He's the only black coach on staff. But he played basketball at Syracuse back in the day for Boeheim. So he knew what it was like to be an athlete. He knew, he connected with us on that side. He had a kid early, all that. So
yeah, he checked on me often to see how I was doing, how he was doing. And then T.O. helped out with getting his first job. Yeah,
they sometimes, it wasn't even the first job because my first actual pro job I got put on through a coach I was committed to at Cincinnati. He ended up coaching that league and he just knew my situation. So he reached out to Coach Vic and was like, if Devon if he wants to go pro, we're having this workout opportunity. But before that, like I said, I hadn't been back. I didn't go back to campus. I didn't speak to nobody. Like nobody checked. I still haven't talked to Archie, and it's been.
They don't care about. It's a business.
And that's to what I was going to say, man. It shows you how much of a business it is to where it's like, dang, my well-being. I know I messed up. I'm man enough to say I made a mistake. But I was 19.
Yeah, I was 19,
18,
20. I was a child.
I think the last time he talked to you, he told you would be cut. Yeah.
He basically was just like, when I went to his office and had a conversation, he was just like, you can leave school or we will have to basically put out that you got kicked out of school. And he was like, and for your next opportunity, it's not going to look good to say you got kicked out. So you better off just withdrawing yourself. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I'll do that. And that was it. We didn't even really talk about nothing. He didn't say good luck, none of that. He was just more on some
just beefed out.
Yeah. Well, I see you.
Archie's not a people person.
He's
he
not,
never was.
And I think it messed up his team too. You know, so like he probably had his own because they were on a good path.
We had a good.
So he probably was like,
and it wasn't just me. It was me and one of my teammates.
Yeah, so, it was two of them.
It put the team in a horrible position, and I felt bad about that. And for a long time, and my teammates never came up to me with any type of feelings or beef. Yeah, because I've seen all these most of them dudes plenty of times since then. So it's never been a. And that's one thing I love about having brothers in that regard, because it's not we don't care about basketball. Right. We care about you as a man. You know what I'm saying? So we always still talk about the time frame and all this and that, but it's all love. It's never nothing like that. As far as the coaching staff, I don't got they got families and all that. I don't talk to them. It is what it is.
I don't think we've ever looked at it that way. I haven't. The predicament that we put he put the team in. Yeah, because that was their captain.
But I didn't feel bad.
He was supposed
to
be the example.
I didn't feel bad though, because I was like, and when I say I'm saying I didn't feel bad about.
Kiana like.
I didn't actually feel bad about the situation until way later, because I gotta pick my life up, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this story's on ESPN. Like people know. So y'all team will be all right. You can get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? The same way, if I wasn't playing well, you will find somebody else.
UD is gonna be fine.
You will be the University of Dayton with or without me. I promise you. So they were last on the list to get to as far as in my mind. Immediately, I need to figure out what's going on with me, my family, and what's the next steps. That's why I never had real time to process, because I was always in figure it out mode. You know what I mean?
Go mode.
So how has your transition since then? Because now you're a professional athlete. Yeah. You've been pretty much all around the world. Which is so super dope. Again, so the perseverance for you to continue pushing, man, because a lot of people could have just stopped. Yeah, it was a moment in your life. You took it on the chin. You learned from it. You built you built a stronger relationship with the Lord. Yeah. And you persevered. You pushed through. Now you're a professional athlete. You done play all around the world. What's that like for you? I mean, it's one of them experiences and one of them things that you can't really put into many words to get people to really understand what it means to you, but to put it like as simply as possible, it's one of them things that I'm constantly thankful for. You know what I'm saying? Like I thank God for it a lot, because your kids, my wife, you know what I'm saying, me, you get to experience so many different things, good and bad, which make you a better person. You know what I mean? My kids get to go to school in Italy, and then the next year go to Korea, or I've been to 11 different countries. They've been to, I think, 9. Ooh. So it's like, I've been to passport stamped.
Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to do. I'm going for work, but I happen to do what I want to do, not what I have to do. You know what I mean? And that's something I always stand by. When I had that factory job, the day I didn't have to go back, I almost had God tell me that in the back of my mind, like, now, like, this is what you had to do this job. You didn't have a choice. Now you understand, like, you get to do what you want to do. You want to play basketball. You're going to have to climb the ladder. You're going to have to get back where you were as far as position-wise. Like, if I was to leave straight from UD and go overseas, I would have started probably 3 years ahead of where I actually was. You know what I'm saying? But
you got to start from the bottom.
literally, I was making like 2 bands a month. My first job. You know? And then that was my first job was 2 bands. Second job was 3 bands. Third job was 3 bands until December. Then changed to 4 bands. But even then, I still had to pay for Lil Devon's flight, so they was cutting checks off the first 2,
but
January,
y'all
February.
couldn't tell us that we thought we was balling.
I'm good, bro. She went from TGI, she was working at TGI Fridays when we first moved to Atlanta. She was booming off tips. You know what I'm saying? You know, waitresses don't make anything. Tips, she's such a personal person. She's getting 80 to 100 a day off that alone. So going from that to 2,000, you like, man, you know, we can budget, pay our bills, and this is why the Bible principles matter. Because the same way we were thinking is the same way in the Bible, God, or Jesus used the parable of the man with the talents.
Yep, talents.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be faithful over a little, I'll give you more and make you faithful over a lot. So we were very, very faithful. We were focused on, hey, we're happy with this. You know, we're able to pay our bills.
And we're still tithing the whole time.
Like we were still being generous. We were doing what we were supposed to do. And it wasn't necessarily out of anything other than this is what we're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when I finally made that major leap to the next tax bracket, my 4th year, it wasn't in. Previously, we were in and I don't. Shout out to everybody in Argentina. It's a lot of love for y'all, bro. We were in easily one of the worst cities I've ever been in my life.
Really?
You could walk from one end to the other.
But it was that's not even with the killer. It was just so cold. It was so like
it was like
maybe 3 restaurants you could eat at.
Argentina's it's almost like a straight down type country. You know what I'm saying? It's not built in into other shape than straight. We were at the bottom, bro. Okay. We had to fly 3 hours to get to the capital, which is Buenos Aires. You know what I'm saying? It was whack, bro. Like, she had to learn how to make sour cream.
I had to learn how to make everything. And my first day there, someone tried to steal my bag.
Really?
And ended up taking her breast pump. But she got it back. But it's just
he had one arm, y'all. I promise y'all. He had one arm. And he put his book back down and tried to slide on my breast pump bag. And I was like, excuse me, that's my bag.
Yeah. Overseas, I'll tell you what, bro.
His little arm was like, huh? I said, give me my bag.
Yeah, overseas
you
is different.
tried it.
Mind you, I'm 3 hours away. I can't actually actively do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
we in a hotel. He walked into the hotel, y'all.
And we did that.
Yeah. Overseas is different, bro. It's people different everywhere, but
I was like,
that city during that time, me and her was just really focused on.
I had just had Aria.
Agent, and our agent he was just telling us like, man, look, stay locked in, like, just stay the path.
I'm gonna build y'all up.
And me and her was talking amongst ourselves, like, just stay faithful. She had a list that she prayed for, things that she wanted in the next destination, and God checked off all them lists
every time.
That's what's
every
up.
time.
And I want to say shout out here.
And he every time.
Everything.
Every time.
Like, we went from being
Every time.
But you don't think so? You got to go through that. You got to go through that period of,
bro.
You know
and you got to pray over it.
I don't even know if you realize, but our Bible app 2 days ago, it talked about God's timing. If you remember, it talked about God's timing and how it's always on time.
It's exactly what it need to be, bro.
Yo, I promise I would talk to him. I'd be like, I want to live in a country next to a beach.
Yeah.
I would just say
she said that after
we don't know where we're going.
This is after being in Brazil where it's hot, it's lit,
I'm
like the
I
club
want
is
a
cool.
beach.
She's like, I'm gonna live on a beach. I'm like, nigga,
He like a
pushing
beach.
it.
Now you taking it too far.
Yeah, what do you want? Like, be happy with what you
Israel,
got.
I
Like,
could walk to the beach in 5 minutes.
literally. To drive home from practice every day, I had to drive straight down the beach line. You know,
me and the kids, I would be at the beach. I would roller skate at the beach. I could literally roller skate to our house.
Not to mention that we was an hour and a half from Tel Aviv, which is one of the most lit places on earth, with the beaches and all that. So it's like,
so you've been enjoying. So you would stay at home, mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's up. How you feel about that?
I enjoy it. I do. It's funny because people are like, stay at home moms. You guys have it so easy. We don't.
I think the biggest, for me, from my perspective, the biggest struggle that she has is continuing to, not like find purpose, but have things in her life of substance. You know what I'm saying? She has hobbies and things that she does, but having things that fulfill the substance in your heart, your mind, your passions, that's the biggest struggle that I would say that she's dealt with over the years. Because
I'm always kids. Like Aria's 5. She's just now going to kindergarten. So it's just like my first time where I'm like, woo, I'm going to be able to find something for myself. Like, we write books, but, and then it's funny because I'm like, this is my first time. I'm like, what? Aria's going to school. They're both going to go to school. And then one of his first offers that he gets is like, there's no school in the city. You're going to have to homeschool.
But mind you, this is in a market that I've been wanting to break into
that you've
for a
been
minute.
Seeking.
Yeah. So
just off the security, off the pay grade, off everything.
Humbling.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
dang.
This is what my dad told me a long time ago. And you know, you always hear, be careful what you pray for. My dad put it in a different way. He would say, like, at the time when I asked him this is when Devon was young. I was like, Dad, like, I've been praying for patience, bro, but my patience is trash. He was like, how do you gain patience? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, how do you gain patience? I was like, generally by being in situations where you need patience. He was like, well, you're praying for patience. God is giving you situations. A child that's not bad, but he's a child. He's being a child. That's how you learn how to be patient. So from that moment, he was like, just be aware of what you're praying for, because when you pray, God answers. It may not be, and when he does answer, that's the breaking point. Are you willing to continue on through this hardship that you prayed for, essentially, to get the reward on the other side? Or are you going to sit back and say, this sucks, and give up on that prayer and say God didn't answer your prayer? When realistically he did.
You're right.
He did. He always do.
Most people pray for more money, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know how to manage the money you have.
The money
now.
you have. So why would I give you more?
I give you money.
Or he give you opportunities and you fumble them.
Or you act like it's not what I was looking for. It's not what I want.
Or he gives you more money and you don't know how to spend it.
Right. So when you're doing everything wrong.
You got this more money, but where is it?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with it?
Yeah, so I think in our case, that was the thing. Like we have our prayers, but I'm very conscious about what I pray for. Like even with her, if I try to, Lord, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? Make me better for this. Here comes some roadblock that feels like, bro, we've been disconnected. Like, well, you pray for this. Now this is going on. You handled that completely wrong, brother. Now you got to go all the way back. Now that you know that, now you got to go back, reset, and push forward that way with the disconnect.
Right.
Bring each other back together, then grow from there. It's tough, but you can't be mad because you asked for that.
Right. So where's the next spot?
I haven't signed yet, but
you haven't signed yet.
Where we're talking about is Japan.
Okay.
Y'all gonna go to Japan?
And so it's no school.
Well, there's schools in Japan. Just the first city that made contact, there isn't one in that city.
I would have to homeschool. I mean, he looks at me. He's like,
it's just because I know the stress. For her, she's thinking like, I'm solely thinking about her. I'm thinking about the kids' development. I'm thinking about me. All of that. I'm thinking about everybody. It's not just about her, because I'd be like, are you sure you want to homeschool? It's not, no, if I got time, I'm ready. This and that. I'm like, cool, you ready.
But like I told him, when I have enough time, I have to set my mind in motion. So if I'm like, I can't do it if we're like going to the country and it's like no school and I didn't know, then I'm like spiraling. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get this. But if I have enough time, I know to order their school, set my mind right. Because that's a big part of it. You have to go in with your mind knowing you're going to do something. And I always tell him, he's looking at me. And even though I know it's his dream to get to this market, I want it as well, because I know where it will set our family up in the end of the day. So as a wife, then I have to, and a stay-at-home mom, you have to turn your focus and be like, okay, you wanted a school, you're not going to get one. So guess what? You're going to go to plan B and figure out how you're going to manage it. You're going to have to homeschool both of them.
That's if, you take that type of situation.
There ain't enough time to finish this. I got so many questions for you.
Shout out to you.
Yes, like
for sure.
And like in a good way of so much questions, because that takes a lot of like discipline and sacrificing, compromising. Not only that, but just intentionality. Like when I say it's taking so much for you to even be and do everything, like even to just be supportive.
Yeah, because we're going in year 8 of his professional. So it gets easier. I would tell the first time we were in Argentina, I left early. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. Then I was like,
I went on a road
gotta
for
go.
Like, that team, like I said, we were so far away. So when we do road trips, we'd be gone like we'd be gone for like a week, but it'd be like 3 games in 5 days. So I was about to go on one of those trips where she would be at the crib for like a week by herself. She was like, I'm about to just go home, bro.
I'm sliding.
I came back crib. Not that she ran away, but it just like, you leave, your whole family is there. You come back, it's naked in there.
Right.
It's just it's a crazy feeling. But
man, the life of an athlete, man.
I always say though, like whenever I have an opportunity, whenever I have a chance to give her credit for being who she was throughout our relationship, I always will. And no matter what happens in the future, whatever, like I always will give her credit for being that backbone person that I always was able to lean on throughout this whole thing, because early on she could have left, she could have did anything because she didn't sign up for that. But, I always give her credit. And now that we're on the upswing, things like that, I look back and I'm like, man, God done brought us a very, very long way, and I'm very thankful.
For sure. So them flowers go to her.
That's cool.
Them flowers go to her.
They was gonna end up going to her anyway, brother.
And man, we really appreciate y'all coming on here. And we
might have to do a part 2, bro.
Yeah, we would love to have y'all come back.
I know.
We would dig into marriage, like
for sure.
It's a lot to talk about.
For sure.
And I'm like over here in amazement. Like
we might have to come to Argentina and do it down there. Well, not Argentina.
No,
Japan.
They just said Argentina and she can't survive.
It's some nice places.
I can't survive.
Some nice places in Argentina, but hey, Rio Gallegos is not it, bro.
Japan, I don't know. How long y'all gonna be in Japan?
The season's normally like 8 months. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But regardless, you know, we live in Atlanta. Like you can travel domestic.
I'd rather us come. So y'all know y'all leaving yet? I'd rather us come to Atlanta.
Yeah. But also we always are welcome to, because we tell everybody, y'all can come. Y'all got a place to stay. All y'all gotta do is buy the flight.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, so you saying welcome to us staying.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, Japan, Lord Jesus.
That's what's up, man.
Last year we just left Korea, bro. I always be telling people
Korea's
like
my favorite country.
A lot of
in the world.
And the reason we extend that offer is because a lot of people wouldn't have an avenue to go to these random places.
Yeah.
Like her best friend came to visit us in Italy last year, and that was a great week for her, for us, for all of us.
We had a great time. It gives us a little sense of home,
right?
And we get to
we gonna come visit y'all then.
Yeah, we get to provide.
That's just what it is. So
by the time y'all get there, like we most likely will know all the spots where everything's at. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like you could experience the culture.
Even if we don't go to Japan, we could. It's wherever. Always Europe, like everywhere.
Yeah,
whatever. We gotta get more places on our passports besides the places we see on Instagram and stuff. So I want to get some places. Japan. I'm thinking about how far, how long.
Them flights are real, but at the same time,
like
it's
3 days, 2 days, what day, what 10 hours.
Like we came back from Korea.
Hours.
That was like
19 hours. On the
I don't
flight.
know how
He can't even last. Like he can't sit down. Like the podcast is enough for him. Like
you can get up and walk around on the plane.
I'm just saying he has to do. Y'all.
I mean, listen.
Your boy
if we going, we going. I mean,
you gotta set your mind.
Yeah,
your mind
set your.
That's what it is.
It's like, oh my Lord.
That's how far it is from Atlanta.
It's what?
Japan.
Well,
Korea is 15 hours.
Korea's
straight.
like 15. But either way, you know, if y'all pull up at the crib, y'all pull up overseas, wherever I land, regardless, you know, you always welcome. But we just love that we're able to provide our family and friends with that opportunity, bro.
Yeah,
like,
we promise to show y'all a good time.
Yeah, no matter what, it's gonna be a good time.
I definitely believe it.
We gonna take it. Well, I'm so happy that y'all came on. I'm so excited that we definitely got to do a part 2 because, like I said, it's so much to touch on. But I'm so grateful and honored to be sitting here with both of y'all and being able to have conversation.
Thanks for having us.
You know what I'm saying?
If we got an opportunity to knock it out before we leave Ohio, we might be able to try to do that.
And before we're like, this is amazing. Y'all's platform. What you guys are doing for Columbus and period. Like it's amazing.
We appreciate that. We really do.
All right. Well,
we really do.
We're going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in for To Neighborhood Politics. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow Devon Scott.
Yeah, that's... I don't really care about social media.
Okay, so we don't let it put them in the description, but you know, maybe not. Whatever. Y'all feel like
if you want to put that on there, that's cool. But I'm not about to. Yeah, bro, follow your boy. That ain't me. I'm not that guy.
This is Devon Scott. But yes, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see y'all later.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Come on, I'm late.